Now, the beginning of the next part of our event tonight, we're going to bring up Mr. Jerry McGuire, and he is going to be working with Delta Papa on a couple of things. So once these guys get started with the music, after Mr. Jerry has done his collaboration with them, if anyone is interested in performing with the band, please let us know. We will have some poetry and jazz. So Mr. Jerry McGuire, please come to the stage. Thank you very much. Sure.
I'm going to read about 3 poems tonight, if I can make all my equipment hold up here. When I think about, and I have been a lot, when I think about 100,000 Poets for Change, when I think about Poets for Change, what comes to my mind principally is what the Romantic poet Shelley said: poets are the unacknowledged legislators of mankind. Everything I heard tonight is somebody who was legislating in some way in his heart. Somebody who wanted his words to register and stick and mean something to people, not just go away. We're all signifying here. And I wanted to read a poem by somebody else, actually, a poet named Robert Haas, about 2 other poets. One of the poets he's writing about is a Russian poet, Osip Mandelstam. And the other poet he's writing about is a great Spanish poet, Cesar Vallejo, whose name I have a little trouble with. This is called Russia in 1931. The Archbishop of San Salvador is dead, murdered by no one knows who. The left says the right says provocateur. But the families in the barrios sleep with their children beside them and a pitchfork, or a rifle if they have one. And posterity is grubbing in the footnotes to find out who the bishop is, or waiting for the poet to get back into his business. Well, here's this. Her breasts are the color of brown stones in moonlight, and paler in moonlight. And that should hold them for a while. The bishop is dead. Poetry proposes no solutions. It says, justice is the well water of the city of Novgorod, black and sweet. Cesar Vallejo died on a Thursday. It might have been malaria, no one is sure. It burned through the small town of Santiago de Chuco in an Andean valley in his childhood. It may very well have flared in his veins in Paris on a rainy day. And 9 months later, Osip Mandelstam was last seen feeding off the garbage heap of a transit camp near Vladivostok. They might have met in Leningrad in 1931 on a corner, 2 men about 40. They could have compared gray hair at the temples, or compared reviews of their books, Trilce and Tristia, in 1922. What French they would have spoken, and what the one thought would save Spain killed the other. I am no wolf by blood, Mandelstam wrote that year. Only an equal could break me. And Vallejo, think of the unemployed. Think of the 40 million families of the hungry. I'm going to read a poem of my own now. It's actually sort of 3 stories. It's a kind of myth poem, and Adam Cohen and Ryan Hornbeck are going to come up and help me. They're going to take it. They've come up with something to, I hope, take it to another level. And you get to hear our very first rehearsal, because we haven't done anything with this before right now. Can you do me a favor and start me with that chime? The first story. There were in the first days 3 moons who were sisters. One sister was blind. She saw by being perfectly quiet and letting others describe everything to her. Another sister was deaf. She heard with her fingers, which were the winds that she ran over the surface of the world. The third sister was dumb. She spoke by opening her eyes so wide, everything poured out of her like light. One day, the sisters argued over their lover, the sun. But as two of them did not speak, and one did not hear, they never knew it. And that is how our fathers learned to live. The second story. One day in the first days, two of our fathers met by a pond, where both had come to find something to eat. They decided that they would eat frogs. They talked together and smoked because they had never eaten a frog and did not see one. While they waited, some deer came to the pond and had a drink. One said to the other, "Is that a frog?" And the other said, "No, that is a deer." So they paid no attention because they wanted to eat frogs. Later, a bear came by, very close by, and snatched a fish and ate it. "Is this one a frog?" asked one of our fathers. And the other said, "No, this one is a bear." So the two still waited to see if some frogs might come. A pair of mink came, slid into the water, and came out with crawfish in their mouths. The two kept talking. "No," said one, "these are minks, and those are crawfish." Finally, the sun set, and they made a fire. Then a frog came along, as big as a buffalo, and said to our fathers, "Why are you sitting here beside my pond? Don't you have a fire in your own homes?" The two of them, thinking the frog would eat them, said that they had come to see the great frog and to bring him a gift. "What is this gift?" asked the frog, because he thought he might take it. "Oh," they said, "we put it in the pond already. It is a tub of honey with nuts and berries in it." Hearing this, the frog jumped in the pond and dove down looking for his present. But because it was not there, he never came out of the pond again. And the water shrunk him until now all frogs are small. Meanwhile, our two fathers saw that they were very lucky. So they did a dance around the fire until it burned out. They went to sleep. And when they woke up, they saw that waiting and talking and smoking together had made them exactly the same. "Well," they said, "all right then, let us do the same today." And that is how our fathers came to live together in one place. The third story. Squirrel, fox, eagle, coyote, and rat called a meeting in the first days to talk about man. Squirrel said, "He's a fool. He can't climb at all. Instead of saving his acorns in a tree, he eats them all at once, then goes hungry all winter. I think we should leave him to his own kind and never talk to him." Fox spoke up then. "I agree," he said, and then he ate Squirrel up on the spot. "Yes," said Fox, "man is a fool. He is afraid of the dark, so he's a terrible hunter. Big as he is slow of foot, weak of eye, and dull of brain. He's dangerous in close quarters, but we can easily avoid him, and that is what we should do." Just then, Eagle dove down from his perch, killed Fox, and ate him on the spot. "You are so right," he said. "Man is a fool. He makes fires, weapons, and tools, yet has no imagination. When he tells stories, he scares himself and does not understand them. He is not noble because he cannot think himself noble." "Noble!" exclaimed Coyote, and bit Eagle's head off and ate him on the spot. You are so right. Even worse, he changes his mind. When Partridge sits sleeping on a rock, he thinks, how beautiful Partridge looks sleeping there. And Partridge wakes and flies away while man's children go hungry. He goes to fish and stares at the moon while the fish eat his bait. And then he looked at Rat and thought he would eat him too. But when he pounced, Rat jumped back, and Coyote fell in a pit where Rat had been standing. Coyote looked up, and Rat and Man were standing there. That's right, they said together, and they both urinated on Coyote. But if rats and men work together, we will kill all the other animals. And that is what our fathers have learned to do. That's Adam Cohen and Ryan Hornbeck. Thank you so much, guys, for saving me. And I have one more very short piece to read from a book that's coming out soon. And Eddie Clement has offered to come up and play a little bass while I sing it. Sing it, though. You sing along with me, all right? Sad-faced among the bargain books, not even perky when he finds a first edition, the only one probably, of Zhukovsky's autobiography. Only later, at Zhukovsky's words, water cold and sweet and pure, and yellow loaves are near at hand, wine that makes a rosy hand, fire in winter, the little pulse. Then he finds himself drunk and gay, and in all things thankful, and in all things thankful, and in all things. Thank you.